shops would rise. Consumers may buy fewer items as a result. This will reduce the demand for products made by businesses. However, not all businesses will be affected in the same way. If consumers need to buy a product such as a new battery for their alarm clock, then the price increase is unlikely to stop them doing so. How would businesses in a country be affected if the government put tariffs on imports into the country? There are three possible effects. Businesses will benefit if they are competing with imported goods. These will now become more expensive, leading to an increase in sales of home-produced goods. Businesses will have higher costs if they have to import raw materials or components for their own factories. These will now be more expensive. Changes in government spending. Governments in most countries spend the tax revenue they receive on programs, education, health, defense, law and order, transport, roads and railways. Monetary policy is a change in interest rates by the government or central bank, for example, the European Central Bank. The following are likely to be the main effects of higher interest rates. Firms with existing variable interest loans may have to pay more in interest to the banks. This will reduce their profits. Lower profits mean less is available to distribute to the owners and less is retained for business expansion. Exchange rate appreciation is the rise in the value of a currency compared with other currencies. Supply-side policies try to increase the competitiveness of industries in an economy against those from other countries. Policies to make the economy more efficient. Government policy change OSIBU sinus decision. Problems with this decision. Decrease income tax. This reduces the amount consumers have to spend. Our prices on existing products to increase demand. Produce cheaper products to allow for lower prices. Less profit will be made on each item sold. Reduces gross profit margin. The brand image of a product might be damaged by using cheaper versions. Social responsibility is when a business decision benefits stakeholders other than shareholders. For example, a decision to protect the environment by reducing pollution by using the latest and greenest production equipment. Environment is our natural world, including, for example, pure air, clean water and undeveloped countryside. Global warming is a gradual increase in the overall temperature of the Earth's atmosphere, generally thought to be caused by increased levels of carbon dioxide, CFCs, and other pollutants in the atmosphere. A pressure group is made up of people who want to change business law government decisions by taking action, such as 1810, as organizing consumer boycotts. Private costs of an activity are the costs paid for by a business or the consumer of the product. Private benefits of an activity are the gains to a business or the consumer of the product. 1 Ogism 6i. External costs are costs paid for by the rest of society, other than the business, as a result of business activity. External benefits are the gains to the rest of society, other than the business, as a result of business activity. Social cost. External costs plus private costs. Social benefit equals external benefits plus private benefits. Sustainable development is development which does not put at risk the living standards of future generations. Pressure groups are groups of people who act together to try to force businesses or governments to adopt certain policies. A consumer boycott is when consumers decide not to buy products from businesses that do not act in a socially responsible way. Ethical decisions are to vary frequently. Peer 9. Based on a Morat Code. This is because people sometimes referred to as ethical standards. The doing the right thing. Globalization is the term now widely used to describe increases in worldwide trade and movement of people and capital between countries. Free trade agreements exist when countries agree to trade imports-exports with no barriers such as tariffs and quotas. An import tariff is a tax placed on imported goods when they arrive into the country. An import quota is a restriction on the quantity of a product that can be imported. Protectionism is when a government protects domestic businesses from foreign competition using tariffs and quotas. Multinational businesses are those with factories, production or service operations in more than one country. These are sometimes known as transnational businesses. Exchange rate is the price of one currency in terms of another currency. For example, £1 equals $1.50. Currency appreciation occurs when the value of a currency rises. It buys more of another currency than before. Make exports cheaper. For example, exports from Europe sell for a lower price in America as it takes fewer dollars to buy each euro. People in America do not have to spend as many dollars buying euros to buy the exports from Europe. Imports are more expensive and do the opposite. For example, imports into Europe now cost more to buy from America, as more euros have to be given to buy the dollars needed for the same amount of imports. Currency depreciation occurs when the value of a currency falls. It buys less of another currency.